Hey York! Welcome to our podcast where our international students share their stories and experiences of life in the UK. I'm Naveen, a fourth year biology student from India, specializing in genetics, and your host for today. We'll be reminiscing about our move to the University of York, sharing our stories and providing top tips for students who are getting ready for university. I'm joined by Dana and Victoria, so why don't you all introduce yourselves?
So I'm Dana. I'm a third year student and currently study film and television production. And I'm from China, and hopefully I can give lots of tips for you guys today.
And Victoria, where are you from?
Hi, I'm Victoria. I'm from Canada, and I'm a master's student studying medieval history and very excited to reflect on coming to York.
Going to university is pretty daunting, never mind in another country, and I'm sure we all have some very interesting stories to share. So let's get started. So, Dana, how did you feel in the weeks leading up to the move to York?
I think my story is quite different because the few weeks that I'm going to come to York is during COVID, so there are not much things you can do actually. And I was very nervous because, different cultural backgrounds and different language barriers I may encounter. But because of COVID, lots of things have become even simpler because you need to bring lots of medicines and, parents' consents and everything like that. But also there's some excitement there as well as, you finally can be independent away from your parents and going to move to a different country. So I feel like the feeling is quite complicated and very mixed. So for me, I think if I have to conclude, it will be like nervous but exciting.
And what do you think about this, Victoria?
I was working full time, so I was just sort of sitting back and dreaming about getting to get on a plane and go to England and wander around this beautiful city. Wasn't thinking so much about the studying part. There was definitely a lot of excitement. Because I was so busy working, I didn't have a ton of time to be nervous, which might have been a bad thing because when I got here, all of those nerves bubbled up and I got to feel them all at once. But I would say the main feeling was excitement and just getting ready for that next adventure.
What did you do? What did you do to get ready for university, Victoria?
I love packing. I know that's a very controversial thing to say, but I gave myself, as a little treat, I did a little practice pack about 3 weeks before I left. I decided I just want to see what's going to fit in my bag so I can start thinking about what I want to take and what I want to leave behind. So for me, it was a lot of sorting out, do I need one coat? Do I need two? Do I need a light jacket? Which rain boots am I going to bring? Which sounds really, really boring, but I was having the time of my life.
I think for me, it's like I also kind of enjoy packing, especially, you're going to move to a new country. And especially for me, I think it's the fashion style I'm gonna dress about, I'm gonna move to UK. Well, maybe I'll still keep my elegance when it's so windy. So I bring lots of jacket and coat to make sure I can stay in that kind of stylish look. And then I was also thinking, what kind of clothes there's to bring, and is there a different kind? Maybe they're waterproof because it's raining all the time here. So I think it's quite funny. Before I, really moved to here, I really spend lots of time on, packing and choosing clothes.
I'm the complete opposite. For me, it was always about efficiency. I despise packing. It's a chore for me. I always try to choose what would be the most useful thing to bring to university and what are some things that I could always skim over from my backpack. And with that, what do you believe, Victoria, would be some of the things that you really are incredibly happy that you were able to bring to the UK from back home, and some things that you regret leaving behind?
Oh, I would say the first thing that I regret leaving behind was my winter coat. As I said before, I'm from Canada. It's very, very cold there. And I said to myself, oh, it's England. It's going to be 5 degrees in the wintertime. I don't need a winter coat. So I left it at home. And about the first week of December, I started really regretting that. So I did go out and buy one. And then I went home for Christmas, home to a Canadian winter, came back and went, no, I shouldn't have bought a coat.
Victoria, the first person I have ever met in my entire life who goes and says, yeah, it's just going to be 5 degrees. Who needs a winter coat for that? I'm more used to the, 35s, the 25s, pleasant weather.
I think I'll melt when we get to that point.
What about you, Dana? What's something that you really enjoy bringing back from home?
Well, I think I can't really think about a thing that I'm really happy to bring with me, but I will think about a thing that I really regret bringing with me. So that's the rice cooker.
Oh,
especially, I'm from like a culture like we really eat rice every day. And my parents warned me saying you have to buy a big rice cooker and bring the hair because that's convenient. You can got, congee and you rice and you can make everything with it. But after I came here, I realized, we can buy rice cooker everywhere from Amazon, from all the website. And I literally just, get my big rice cooker with me, lifting from Manchester airport to here, all the way down with the train and just catching it there from here. So I was like, if I get another chance, I would not really bring it. I would just literally buy the hair, honestly.
I went through the same thought process with an umbrella.
Oh my God.
I had one set aside to pack, and then I thought, what am I doing? I am going to a place that is famous for rain. I will buy one when I get there. I'm sure they're better here.
Yeah.
I'd actually counter that, the umbrella thought, because I really regret not bringing my umbrella from India because for some reason, the umbrellas we had back home were really heavy duty and the ones we get over here are quite flimsy. So if you have a really good umbrella, it will keep you dry, really. And about the rice cooker, by the way, in my first year accommodation, there were about 5 rice cookers in the kitchen because
Oh my
everybody
God.
bought a rice cooker. It's quite common for people to travel with a rice cooker. All right. And well, we've heard about the funny rice cooker story. What about you, Victoria? Do you have any funny stories about moving to the UK?
So I gave myself about a week to get settled before classes start. And my second day waking up in York, I decided I'm going to go and find all of my classes, figure out where I'm supposed to be going. And I walked into the city because most of the medieval history classes are at King's Manor, which is in the city. It's really easy to look it up on Google Maps. I thought I've got the maps up. This is going to be so easy. And I went there and I was standing right in front of the building. And I kid you not, I walked past the entrance 4 times because I just kept looking at it thinking that can't be a university building because it just doesn't. It's such a beautiful historical house that it's got a great big sign over the door that says King's Manor. And I went, no, it's not King's Manor. Just kept walking past. I did circles for about an hour and a half. And then a week later, I had my first class. I had to leave like an hour early because I wasn't sure I was ever going to find it. And I just wandered right up to it and I went, yep, this is what I was looking for the whole time.
Now, to be honest, I've been in town a lot of times because I had to look for King's Manor for a tour I was giving. And it took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to figure out, yes, the big building over there that says King's Manor is in fact King's Manor.
Yep, it's so well labeled. It's so easy to find. For some reason, it's just invisible.
What about you, Donna? Do you have any funny stories you'd like to tell us?
Yeah, I think, as we talked about the rice cooker, I do have a similar situation. Like every housemate just bring a rice cooker to the house together, maybe more than 3 of them. Well, I think a lot of funny things are happening between, kind of like a cultural shock thing happening between me and my flatmate. So I think it was foundation year and I first moved in. And then so basically it's COVID and it's during lockdown. And my flatmates, they're very keen to let me try all different kind of British culture. So it's like all different British traditions they forced me to try. And I will basically having a game of guessing what's the worst British food and Chinese food, things like that. And they showed me I think it's called toad in hole, and then also something about star and sky. Some a fish head being placed on the pie. Something like that.
Oh, like the traditional fish pies, which have...
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I was so shocked. I never heard anything like that before. So I do find it's very funny, how they ask us to try all of those different stuff. And the only thing I can bring for them is a very delicious Chinese food. So, yeah.
All right, if you had to rate which one was the best out of all the dishes you tried.
Well, I tried a lot. I think it's during Spring New Year. It's not a funny story. It's more like a heartwarming story, like a moment. I cooked them a New Year, traditional food and a meal. And I think during COVID, it's quite a, funny time together to spend with your flatmates and, enjoy the different culture, how it shapes people. And yeah, I think it's very lovely.
I think that's really wholesome, honestly. My funny story is that when I was choosing the date to come to the UK, I chose all the flight times on my own. I told my parents, "Don't worry, guys, I got this. You can trust me. I'm an adult now. This is adult Naveen stuff. He can do everything." And out of every day of the year I picked to come to the university, I picked on the only day when the King's Cross in London was closed for maintenance. The one day I had to come to the UK was the day that King's Cross was not running. But you don't always have to rely on trains because we know that the university has an airport collection service. And I wanted to ask you all, did any of you all use the airport collection service run by the university?
I unfortunately didn't, but I do hear some of my friends who are the student ambassadors join this, running system and help to pick up students, things like that. So I think it's going to be very helpful if, you can use it.
And with that, mostly the airport collection services run during September. There are certain dates and they'll mostly be advertised much in advance. So if you'd like to be picked up by the cool University of York bus, why don't you come along for our airport collection service? It's a really fun way to get to meet other people in your cohort, and well, it makes your travel much more convenient and it's free. And with that, we're reaching almost the final question. Actually, this is the final question of today's podcast. What tips would you give to students who are getting ready to go to university? Victoria.
Okay, number one, because we're all international students, I think we're all very aware that when it comes to bringing things to this country, shipping is very expensive and extra bags are very expensive. So make what you bring count. It doesn't make sense to bring a whole bunch of paper and pens and pencils. You can buy those here. So I would recommend for students who are getting ready to go to university to focus on bringing the things that are going to make your space more homely for you so that you can really get settled into the country and focus on your studies while you're here. So things like postcards or photos from family, or if you have, say, like a really sentimental stuffed animal or something that you want to bring with you, I would definitely recommend devoting your space to something like that over something like a rice cooker that you can order off Amazon when you get here.
Unless it's a really sentimental rice cooker.
Unless it's a sentimental rice
which
cooker.
has been with you for like generations,
I think my tip is also very similar, but I will phrase it in a different way. I'll say bring enough, but don't bring too much. Because once you move to UK, that means you're, in a different country right now, and you may need lots of moving services after really move here, because I assume most international students, when they move to UK, they may face more and more times they're going to move to different places, move to a uni, then move to another place, then move to another city. That's all going to happen. So I say bring lots of stuff, make you feel comfy, but also don't bring too much, because it's going to be a nightmare for you to pack all the stuff into paper boxes and bring them to another city. So just bring those necessary things and make sure you live a comfy life. Yeah.
And then I think my third tip would be, just to round it off, would be to take advantage of the fact that you are in the UK. The UK is famous for its train system. It has really wonderful travel opportunities, and there's airports all across the country. We've made it here. You might as well take advantage of it and travel around and see what you can see about the country.
Yeah, definitely. I'd also, this is my personal tip, carry adapters. It's for some reason
Yes.
it's incredibly hard to get an adapter once you reach New York. It's easy to order it off Amazon, but on the day it's quite hard for you to search for, say, a mobile charging adapter or something. So if you come from a country which has a different electrical system, make sure you get an adapter which fits the UK plug. So that's something which I would highly recommend for everyone.
And don't wait and buy it in the airport.
Yes, please don't wait and buy it at the airport. It might be not only will it be incredibly hard for you to find it, and if once you do find it, it's going to be incredibly expensive. So just buy it at home. Save yourself that hassle.
I think I also got my very last tip is remember to be yourself, because we all, represent a culture behind us, and we all have our different traditions, we have different habits, and try to, learn this culture and face this culture and embrace it, because everyone's different, and once you learn that, you will enjoy it. But don't make yourself, you have to change for something that's not how we live in this life. So just be yourself and everyone will be okay.
Honestly, I think that's a beautiful closing message, Dana. You're a natural at this.
Thank you.
I was going to say, I think it's so important to not just leave your culture when you come over here. I brought my hockey jersey with me, and on Sunday nights, I watch replays of the hockey game in my hockey jersey, because it's something that I really miss about being at home with my family. So being able to bring that here with me, I get to bring a little bit of my country with me in a way that's really meaningful for me.
For me, it's the spice box. My grandmother made me a really nice spice mix. So every few nights, I always try to make something really traditional. I think I can represent my culture through food. So for me, it's always cooking. So yeah, try to make sure that you bring something from home that really reminds you of who you are. And with that, I think we've reached the end of this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you're feeling more prepared to make that big move, that big step towards university. Thank you for bearing with us, taking this trip to memory lane as we went through our past experiences. We hope you're excited about going to university, and we've provided you with hopefully, some useful tips. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye.